everything's on you. You only got one person to blame, right? Can't blame your boss. Can't say, well, they didn't deliver my product on time. It's none of that. It's all on you. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take those numbers that you have, and I want you to figure out what was your average loss, except for Twan, who was a 100%er. So I don't know how you did that, brother. I don't know how you pulled off all. That's amazing. But I want the rest of you to go in, figure out what your average loss was. You need to know what your average loss was, and you want to know what was the biggest loss you had for the setup that you used. I also want you to figure out on the win side, what was the biggest win?
Mr. Tony, the average over what period of time? Just for the
those amount of trades that you guys did. Okay. How you figure out your biggest winner, your average on your winners, biggest loser, average on your losers. You need to know those two numbers. And because I want to keep things moving.
Hey, Tony, did you want these in dollar amounts or percentage wise?
Dollars. Do them in dollars, because that's the world we live in. That's the world we. You know what? And you can do percentage too. If you want to do percentages, you can do that as well. I mean, if that helps you guys out, go ahead and do it in percentages as well. But know the dollar amount as well as the percentage. I'd rather you know if you got to know one of the two, know the dollar amount. But yeah, go ahead and do percentage too if you like. Okay, and listen, I want to keep this thing moving, okay? I want to keep this thing moving because we got a lot to tackle. So I want you to pick out 3 more setups. Okay, Donna, you went and ran. You overshot the runway. Pick out 3 more setups. I need 20 more trades for the next week. When we meet on Wednesday, a week from tonight, I need to know those numbers, okay? I want to really speed this thing up because there's some stuff that we got to get to. And then I want to talk to you.
Are we going to focus strictly on the 3 new setups, or can we continue with the other 3 plus these?
No, forget about those. That's why I need the data from those. We're going to create new data.
Okay.
Everybody good? Okay. So here's the thing that I want you guys, and you can write this down. If you got a notepad, I want you guys to write this down. I know a lot of you were in Clubhouse yesterday, and I kind of talked about this, about the trading plan. And I want you guys to start thinking about this because we got to start putting this together. So you can write down on a notepad a trading plan, and then you can write it out however you want to write it out later on. I just want to give you a few topics, things that you will need to incorporate, and we're going to go into in depth. Not tonight, but maybe we'll talk more about it next week, because tonight I want to keep it short, and we're already 45 minutes in. Okay. So write down trading plan, and then right underneath that, trade with the 20. That's number 1. And I'm really taking stuff from off of the, a few things from off of the whiteboard. Okay. So when you're setting up your trading plan, the first thing you really need to have is your entry method. Okay. How do you enter a trade? Okay. Okay, number 2, I'm going to give you 5. Number 2 is going to be your stop method. Okay. and we'll go over that. This is all the stuff we're going to be going over here in the next few months. But I want to try to move this thing up. I don't want this thing to just drag on. Okay. At what point is your trade wrong? When you put that in, are you using the candle? Are you using the 55%? Are you using the 8? What are you using? Using the 20? Are you using your retracement lines off the gift? Tell me. I want you guys to start thinking about that, okay? Number 3 is going to be your add strategy. When are you adding? You're adding off that first green candle, the first red candle if it's a short. Okay. That retracement, 55 or 100% retracement of the previous candle, opposite color. What is going to be your add strategy? And we're going to go over that, when and how much, because it's really important. If you want to make money, then I tell you guys all the time, we got to add, and we got to do it in a mechanical way, in a very consistent way, not just random. Oh, I feel like getting 10 contracts now, or I feel like getting 3, or I feel like getting 100 shares, or I feel like getting 45 shares. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. Number 4 is going to be taking profits, which I get a lot of questions about that, I notice. Okay. When, where, by what method do you use to take profits? I know I put one in the course, but I don't think I went hardly into as deep as I could have went. As I should have went, as I'm looking back, because now I'm re-recording the studio version, and I'm spending more time in that section because it's important. Okay, because we're here to take profits. We're here to make money. That's the entire reason for this. Okay, number 5. Okay, adjusting your initial stops. Okay, when, where, by what method. Like I was saying earlier, are you using the 8? Are you using the 20? Is that? Are you, bringing it up under the other count? There's a couple of different ways to do it, when you're making your adjustments. Okay. See, I want to make sure that we got this structure in place. And if we have this structure in place, like I was telling the group yesterday in Clubhouse, we can take you out of the trade, okay? I want you to have your trading plan set up and say, oh, I got this, got my entry, my stop, okay. So it's all written down on the paper, and you're just going to do what the sheet of paper says. We're going to take you, your feelings, your emotions out of it. I don't want you acting on any of that. You can have them, I just don't want you to act on them, okay? I want you to look down at the paper. Oh, okay, my stop says I'm out here at 47 and 47.35. So at 47.35, if it hits that, then I'm out. No ifs, no ands. When bid hits 47.35, I'm out. Okay, first green candle comes up. As soon as we get a 55, 100% retracement on the first green candle, I'm adding 100 shares or 5 contracts or 1 contract, whatever your number is. If you're doing options or stocks, doesn't matter. Okay. Profits. Listen, I got to get at least 30 cents out of this trade. I have to make 30 cents. This is a $70 stock. I want to get 30 cents out of it. It might be 3 candles. Usually I like to see 3 candles or more. Okay. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in nauseum, okay? Because I think I really need to go deep in that one. I really do. Okay. And then, of course, when we're adjusting our stops, what's my method I'm using, because it's just like I was saying, yesterday. It's almost like having that mold, Play-Doh, and then you got the little mold, and you just squeeze the Play-Doh through, and on the other side, the perfect little part comes out, And you want to be able to do that every time. That's why we're doing this 20 trade exercise right now. We want to figure out which are going to be your best 3 setups. You need to have probably 3 or 4, and we'll figure it out. That's why we're going to go through. I think I gave you guys at least a dozen or more. So, we're gonna make sure we go through them, okay? At least a dozen of them. And then you'll figure out, okay, these are my top 3, top 4 setups. You're gonna be like, Mr. I'm only trading those. I'm only trading those, and that's it, because the percentages say when I trade those setups, that's when I win. Okay? We're gonna take all the emotion out of it. This is gonna be just pure math. It's just a number. Figures can, liars can figure, but the figures don't lie, right? It's just going to be pure math. Okay. All right. And that's pretty much all I got for tonight. And yeah, we still got, look at that. Told you it was going to be quick. Now, questions, because I know you guys got some questions, and I saw, and I see you guys posting on Facebook, which is cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for participating in that. I'm trying to look in there from time to time and answer questions. Let's click on this real quick. Anybody got questions?
Tony, when I'm taking profits, I feel like I'm always taking profits with my stop. Never actually going in and taking them as a limit. On most of my cases. Do you feel like you're doing the same too? Or, when I know I'm ready to get out of a trade, I'm pretty mature in the trade, I'm just moving my stop up a little bit tighter. And I notice that every time I take a profit on all my trades, my stop has been hit, and that's it. So just kind of wanted to see your thoughts on that process.
So a lot of times, especially for me, I get a little credit if I throw the order up. Meaning, say the stock's at $45. If I throw a sell in at $45.05, you'll notice when that little wick will go up and bam, my order will get executed. I actually get, for every 1,000 shares, I get like $1.25 for doing that. That's kind of when you're doing a lot of volume, you can do that. But I throw orders up like that all the time because, Richard, how many times have you seen that little flash go up and that wick will go up and it'll hit, a certain number, and maybe it doesn't trade back to that number again for a long time, and then maybe you get stopped out at a lower price. But if you had thrown an order up just a little bit higher there as your sell order, or buy order if you're short, then you're able to maximize that trade. Because a lot of times I talk about too, I like to sell into the strength. As the stock's moving up, I like to throw the orders up in front so that I can get hit and get out. I need to get out of this thing because I got a lot of shares, so I gotta, and it's hard to do that. I'd rather do that as I'm moving the stock up as well. You know what I mean? Because the specialist sees him in the book. He's going up there to go get, maybe he wants my stock. Fine. This moving up, he's grabbing my stock up there. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get all the money. I just want to get what I think is fair, what I've earned. When I set out, did I say, okay, I want to make 30 cents today on this trade? Did I get my 30 cents? Okay, I threw some up at 32. I threw some up at 35 cents. I threw some up at 40 cents, So that might help too, Rich.
It's kind of over hitting the mark, and because I feel like when I'm using my stop, in a way, in my mind, it's like, oh, maybe I can stay in this trade a little bit longer. I know I'm ready to get out and just kind of keep moving and inching my stock up. And then, then that one bounce comes and takes me out where, I probably had a little bit more left over if I would have just had my limit out there. And then hopefully, it hits and it's good. But protection, is always good. I can't be bad at a stop, but
no.
I feel like I need to change up my strategy a little bit more and throw them out there so I can maximize out on those trades.
And how long have you been trading now?
It's a year. So, yeah, it's just about a year.
So, prior to this, you were pretty much, you didn't have a clue what was going on.
Stock, yep, just investing. You know what I'm saying?
So look how far you've come. And now we're talking about some things that, I mean, really, when I told you guys at the end of the course, I mean, you know more than about 90% of the traders out there on the street. You know, I mean, now you know what the institutional guys know. I mean, they're trading and using the same thought process. I mean, everybody has different ideas about how to go about trading and different rules and strategies about trading. But you got the basics. You got more than the basics. You got bona fide strategies that put money in your account. You know, which, you know, I still think I gave you guys way too much. I think I sent you guys out there with a loaded shotgun. You know, sometimes I'm thinking, you know,
One thing I've noticed is that some of the concepts kind of blend in with each other as well.
Good.
You know, and so you start to you see one part where it's an entry, and then you kind of get into a picture of strength, and then
wow, that turned into a grind, huh?
For some type of sign for a reversal where it's like, okay, it's time for me to get out. So, you know, over time, I'm noticing that they are starting to kind of all become one, even though they're all separate concepts.
So again, remember I talked about I want to make you guys mechanical, then you'll become more subjective, and then you become intuitive, right? You become like Neo in the Matrix, right? And everything is just like the whole market just slows down and you just see it, right? I haven't even got to that point yet, but I'm striving for that. But based upon where you guys were at, the knowledge that you have right now, and the exercises and the skills we're developing right now, I'm trying to get you to that point where at least you're just mechanical. I see it, bang, I take the trade. I see it, bang, I take the trade. There it is right there. I take the trade. I don't think about it. I don't, you know, check with my emotions. You know, I don't ask about how I'm feeling about it. I just take it, you know. And then I have all my parameters set up. Okay, so my entry is cool. Here's my stop. I got it on my piece of paper. I put it at 5% or 8% or 3 or 35 cents or 10 cents, whatever my stops are going to be. Okay. I've got it all written down on the paper, and I just do it. Because if I do it consistently, I will get the desired result that I want. Is how can I be consistent if I'm doing things inconsistently? If I go away from the system and I start going, oh, well, I know enough how to do this now. I don't need to do that anymore. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I already told you that 92% of people fail doing this. They're out in about a year and a half. They're gone. I'm trying to keep you guys around, but the only way to do that is you got to go through the process. You have to do that. If you deviate, I don't know, maybe you're super smart and you will get it and you can do it, but I just, you know, I told you guys, I just want to make it as simple as possible. I wanted to try to bring some simplicity into what they deem as being complex. You know, I don't think it's, I never felt that way, but maybe that was just me. I kind of gravitated toward trading and toward reading charts. It just kind of worked for me, you know. And then I had to beg, borrow, and steal. Hey, can you teach me this? Can you show me that? Hey, I had a question about this. Because there was no internet to go to. There was no, you know, iPhones, and, you know, there was no, you know, Googles that I could Google all this stuff, or YouTubes. None of that existed. So you just had to just ask people, that find guys that were smarter than you, and, you know, maybe they'd be willing to share the wealth with you a little bit. Because, you know, they always told me when I was taking my Series 7, the reason that they made the test so hard is because they didn't want a whole lot of people passing the test and coming into the industry. That's why they made it intentionally hard. You know, that was the hardest test I ever passed. It was harder than tests I took in college, you know. It was that way intentionally. If I can keep you guys ignorant of what's going on here, you know, if you don't have the knowledge, then I got a leg up on you. And that was the thought. You know, if I can retain this information and keep it away from the masses, then, you know, they'll never know, and we'll just keep getting away with what we've been getting away with. So anyway, long dissertation just to say that let's just stay on track and let's keep this thing going, and don't get bored, don't get frustrated. Let's just get this done. Let's get this done, and I promise we will move this thing in such a pace that I'll make sure nobody gets left behind, and you guys will understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. And once you get to that point, I'm thinking, I don't know, hopefully, 6 months or less, we're done with this thing. And you guys, I'm like, hey, God bless you. If you need to call me, you can catch me on Instagram, DM me or whatever. But you guys got it. You got it. You should be able to, take it and run with it. You should have very few questions. You should be able to refer back to the things that you've been taught, and it should work because this worked for me. So.
Do you ever add on a V-shaped recovery? Because I know sometimes it's pretty fast.
It depends. A lot of times on that, Donna, it might be if I've got like a sideways movement, and then it creates a little quick V-shape. You're talking about V-shape recovery from off a dramatic decline? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
No.
Too quick, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Good question, right?
Yeah, because I was like, do I have time to add here? Because really. Before I turn around and it's gonna be 50%, and I need to get that account.
Right. No,
Okay.
No, not on that one. But good question. Some of the things that we need to talk about, and I think people need to understand that. That's cool. I'm glad you asked that. I'm sure that helps somebody else too. All right, guys. Anything else? Any other questions?
Mr. Tony, I have one question.
Sure.
When you add to your position, let's say, you're going with the 55% and then bottom of the candle rule for your stop loss, and you haven't matured to the point where you're using the 8 or the 20. Do you adjust your stop loss once you add to your position in the next candle, or do you just continue to follow?
Yeah, it kind of depends, but typically the answer will be yes. Okay. It just depends on how fast those candles are moving. And if the candle is just kind of like, it's just kind of like a laggard, then sometimes I'll leave it, okay, where it was at previously. But if it goes pop like that, move it over.
Okay.
Move it over, because it's when it's moving like that fast, it'll have a tendency to move down just as fast, So you don't want to be back over under the other candle. When it just went bang like that, you're like, oh no, bang! I'm moving that up right here. I'm not going to lose all of those gains, just because it or whatever. I just And there's another thing to this, as well as there is a mechanical and a rules based system when it comes to stops and profit taking. There's also a little bit of an art form as well. A little bit more on profit taking as opposed to stops. Stops are almost kind of hard and fast. There's a little bit of fluctuation. You can kind of massage it a little bit depending upon if you're trading shares, if you're trading options. Options tend to have wider spreads than shares do, obviously. So maybe you need to adjust it maybe 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever that number happens to be, going through this exercise. And I think you already kind of figured out what we're doing already. But hang out, because I need to talk to you too. And I think was Ray here too, Patrick?
Ray's not here right now with us.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll catch up with him too. Okay, we'll catch up with him. But definitely, Mr. Smith, do you mind if I call you by your first name? You guys can call me Tony.
Oh yeah. It's Lauren.
Lauren? Oh, yeah. That's my nephew's name. Okay, cool. All right, so Lauren. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Fantastic. So, if any other questions? Anybody else have any other questions? You guys got me.
You know what? I've noticed, and I don't want to get this habit going. So I'm doing options, right?
Uh-huh.
And the times I've noticed when I lost is because I didn't follow the rules. I didn't get out after like 2 candles, or I didn't get out at the, if I was using the candles, the 55% and setting stops like that, or just using the 8. It's because I didn't get out, because in the back of my mind, I buy my options like 2 weeks out most of the time, sometimes 1 week. And when it's 2 weeks, I kind of let it play out a little bit instead of getting out right away. And then before, and I'm working at the same time, my regular job. But when I look up again, it's like it got away from me.
You're making it hard, Donna.
I know. So that's why I'm saying, let me get back to just doing the rules, right?
Yes.
So I was doing that, and I guess I want to ask you my question then, because like today, right? I was in Facebook, and I think it was Facebook, and then eight came down to the 20, and it just like a fine. It just kept, going together. And I knew it was going to make a move up or down, right? Because they're trading right next to each other. It wasn't today. It was like from the 17th or the 16th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't get out. And then it did make the move that I expected. Because I remember when we were in a class one time and you were saying when it trades like that, really close together, really narrow and tight, and that the candles are small and they're right on the line, it's going to make a move. So that's why I stayed in it. Yeah. Okay. So, and it did pop. It popped and went up. Okay. So, yeah. So I guess that's the rule then. If you see it happening, I kind of give it a little bit extra time versus getting out. I don't know. Is there like a rule?
Yeah, because I know you guys are trading options, and you guys also have to incorporate that time factor in there as well. Because when we're day trading, right? Yeah. We're trying to make as much as we can, profit that day, and we're done. But you can do the same thing with options, but there's a little more, there's a little more flexibility in there because, and there's a few more nuances going on because you've got the option of time that can either benefit you positively or be to your detriment, okay, because you're running out of it. So that's something that I think you should take from this training and from the course, and try to see how that works for you, Donna. Like, because you got bigger spreads.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back. I'm just gonna do it like a day trade now. Although I have to say I put in a long trade on something, which is I'm good. I gave it like a month, and I'm gonna stay with it because I expect the move to be, take a while to get to where I want to be. It's just a test to see how much money I would make versus day trading.
So you need to journal that.
Yeah, I am. Okay. I have it in. Yeah, but yeah, okay. So I know when you see a trade like that and you're day trading stocks, when the 8 and the 20 are together, really close, narrow channel, and it hasn't. How long do you give that to play out?
Well, see, I just let the candles determine it, Donna. Yeah. I can't really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let the candle. That's what I did today. I let the candles do it, and I was trying to remember specifically what you said about that surrounding that. When you use, I know we always use a 20, but when it's trading right on the 20, these little fine, small candles, tiny ones.
So when it's trading, and I refer to that with the breakouts when it's trading sideways.
Yeah.
And you'll look down and you'll see all of the volume down below. And it's really small. The candles aren't really spectacular. They're all kind of staying in a certain little range, You know that it's the same people. It's the same traders that are in that trade. You're not seeing people coming and going, and you're seeing these big swings in the candles. It's being very consistent, right? And the volume is very consistent down below, right? So it's the same group that's basically in there, and they're all just waiting. Now, are we on top of the 200 or are we below the 200, right?
Yeah.
Because it's either a ceiling or a trampoline, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, and that'll kind of give you that idea, not 100%, but it will kind of give you that idea of which way the breakout's going to happen.